Hey, Foot Clan, whether you're into podcasts about ghastly crimes or hip-hop rhymes, there's always something new to discover on Spotify with a mix of originals and many of the world's top shows. Listening to podcasts on Spotify is easy. You just open the app, tap Browse, and then dive into their growing library. Subscribe to your favorites, including our entire archive, so you'll never miss a show. You can also download podcasts for those moments when you're up in the air or going underground. Podcasts on Spotify are streaming right now. Go check them out.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from the Redraft Studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome.
Oh, you went arms up during the entire primal intro there,
And I imagine,
like you're the king of the castle.
yeah, well, many of you out there feel like the king of the castle this morning. Maybe you've locked yourself into a Week 15 win, which means you're in the championship game next week. And you're feeling great, and maybe others of you, got a bad break, a player that didn't perform. We'll be covering all of those today, and maybe you just need to be held.
Yeah.
You just need to rest your head into Jason's bosom.
Oh, I've been preparing
Ample.
it, making it
Sample.
making it soft. And
It's succulent.
Brooks liked the ample comment. Brooks is wearing a Santa hat.
Yeah, because Brooks's rule is it's now 1 week till Christmas, so he can actually start celebrating the season.
Hey, Brooks.
Yeah.
Are you in need of Jason's ample bosom this morning?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
Hey, guess what?
Voluptuous.
Guess what, Brooks?
What's that, Andy?
Court adjourned.
Oh!
Court
You
adjourned.
Get bodied.
You know, Brooks, you ruined my perfect season, but I took it back.
Yeah. Yep. So let's give a lay of the land here because,
Yeah, let's talk about our own experiences. People can relate.
yeah, you, Andy, you brought up some people. Twitter's being flooded right now with everybody saying, hey, I got in the championship. I'm so happy. And then there's the bad break, heart-wrenching stories of –
There can be only one.
yeah. But Andy's got both of those from yesterday.
I do, and I'm okay. I'm going to be okay because I've got one of them. I did play Brooks, and my team went bananas. So I took care of Brooks pretty handily in our Dynasty League,
yeah.
and I will be facing head-to-head me and Mike.
Yeah.
Mike and I for the title next week. My very beaten-up 13-1 team takes on Mike's very stout team. So we'll see what happens. I would have beat you this week, which gives me some hope for next week.
Assuming that Julio Jones does not best his already insane performance of the year, I will be in.
Yeah, you're fine.
So many people this week are counting on
This
Julio
is also
to take
Mike
him.
and I's fourth time, not in this league, but fourth time overall fighting for a title. So this will be
Yes.
exciting. You guys will hear from us this week. And then in our other league, our league of record, 10 years running, I'm in the semifinal in that league. And last night, I needed
You needed the You needed the impossible.
man.
Yeah.
so Jason's sick,
Yes. Yes, I am.
so that bosom is a little bit
It's
virusy.
a danger zone. You don't want to lay your head on my chest right now.
No, or ever. So I needed 19 points from Michael Crabtree, who I boldly declared was a top 10 wide receiver this week. And the way that game started with the way Derek Carr was throwing the ball, I was terrified. Because honestly, you guys should know this. I'm far more concerned with what we say on this show and how your team does than I am with my team. However, I am invested with my team, and Michael Crabtree on 17 targets put up 18.4 fantasy points. Good enough for number 8 overall this week, and good enough for a 0.6 loss to my brother-in-law, who is insufferable and terrible. So I had both ends of the spectrum this week, and it made for a very exciting night last night. I know these two guys were watching Crabtree's 4 targets on the final drive, of which he caught none. I needed one catch.
For 0 yards. And
So
yeah,
some
that's
of us are winners and some are losers, and in my case, I was both.
in the listener league, this is important for the Foot Clan, right? Because whoever wins in the listener league every year, they get to come back the next year. Last year, I took care of business and took it down, and we had every slot open. Well, I'm back in the championship.
Yep.
And
You
so
can't
you
stop
guys,
this guy.
You guys can root for me so that you have one more spot. However,
for me.
I lost Antonio Brown.
Oh,
And my team is trash right now. So
It won't matter. You'll find a way to win. Magic. So today on the show we have the Stud Muffins, we have the Rising Stars, we've got Fantasy Rewind, the Duds, obviously, and we've got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. And we're going to start it off with a quick question. Quick question of the day is, look, Christmas, Brooks is quick to remind us, is 1 week away. And the championship game is 1 week away for many of you. And for those of you that are still hinging on tonight, we'll definitely update you on everything we know about tonight's game and talk about that. But 1 week away till Christmas, 1 week till the title game. What is on your fantasy wish list for the final week of the season?
My wish for fantasy Christmas this season, I mean, of course, is a championship. However, I'll get a little more granular than that. Dak Prescott has been very disappointing to my heart and to my soul.
he's been a turd.
Yeah, he's been a lump of coal in the stocking. I truly believed that Dak Prescott would be fine with Ezekiel Elliott out of the lineup. I thought he had grown enough as a quarterback to be able to handle that, to still put up good fantasy numbers, to still have a competent offense. But alas, that was not true. So my Christmas wish is that upon the return of Ezekiel Elliott, we get not only Zeke back, but we get Dak and Des Bryant back into the fantasy fold if we can feel that they are reliable options. You won't have time to find out. You'll just have to go on that Christmas hope that they're ready to play.
That's
a
a
magical
good one.
time of year.
Yeah, that's the present that you open last right there.
Yes.
I mean, if you get the entire Dallas Cowboys offense for fantasy back, that's wait, there's one more we forgot about.
My Christmas wish, I guess I have two if I want to be greedy. I've been very good this year. But my first wish is that I get one more week, just like this past week, from Nick Foles, quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, who got it done, and got it done for me in Dynasty League. He has a good matchup next week, and I need him against Mike. So my wish is for you, all you Wentz owners that picked up Foles, that had the guts to play him, that you get another special week from Nick Foles. And then I'm going to throw in, if Santa's feeling generous, maybe a Thursday stat correction in my favor. So I actually am in 2 title games. So, Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, that's another thing for everyone out there that won by the skin of your teeth or lost by a super close margin. Be aware that the week is not over. Thursday stat corrections come out, and tides can change. For me, I was going to ask for Case Keenum to continue his hot streak, but I already know my parents got me that because he's great. So instead, I'm out there for someone else this year. This
is so noble.
I want Damian Williams to be as healthy
For Christmas.
as possible and enjoy this week. Like, look, this is Christmas this week. Damian, my Christmas wish is that you just take this week off one more time because Kenyon Drake, I need him this week. I need him.
You want him to enjoy his time with his kids, his family?
Yeah, don't hurt that shoulder, man. You got to take practice off. Take the week off, bro.
Okay. You can find us on Twitter at the FF Ballers. Share your Christmas wishes with us over there. We're on YouTube as well. Thank you to everybody for the incredible notes, comments. Congratulations on our 500th episode last Friday. They meant a lot to us. The comments on the throwback video, Brooks, well done. That was great. Going back in time, hearing some of those original inside jokes, moments on the show, Jason swallowing his throat, which he's now done on today's show.
Today's the Blue Jeans episode.
So thank you to everybody for that. Also, thanks to everybody who voted for us at footclanvote.com. There were many of you. I know that. We'll find out those results in January. And thank you to everybody for the support at jointhefoot.com. So a lot of gratitude going around this week. Mike, you won the water bet this weekend with the defense, the trifecta water bet. The Ravens defense was much better than the Saints defense, which was much better than the Eagles defense.
How about them Giants?
Oh
man.
We'll get into the pump the brakes fails. So, and a final reminder: if you want to grab a piece of gear something with our logo on it, something with a nickname shirt, or we'll have the Foot Clan title shirts up there later this week. You can go to shopballers.com, use the promo code Rudolph, who made a miraculous Christmas recovery and played this weekend.
That was ridiculous, man.
Wasn't it?
So Kyle Rudolph, if you didn't follow the story, just real quick, here's a summary. He goes from missing practice to doubtful, which
Technically to an out report first.
Yeah.
Then a doubtful report.
Oh, it went out? I missed the fully out report. So he was out, then he was doubtful, which even a doubtful puts you at a 10% chance to play.
Less than that.
And then he goes to questionable. Then he's playing. Then he's knocked out of the game. Then he's back in catching a touchdown.
Unbelievable
Ridiculous.
week. So if you played him, it might have been on accident because
That
you
was
didn't
a
swap him out.
Christmas miracle for Kyle
All right,
Rudolph.
let's talk about more news.
Weekly Rewind.
Does that sound you warming your hands in front of the microphone?
Yeah, this is I
It's
got
very seasonal, Mike.
I gotta prepare. In Foot Clan, you know what's coming because there's a lot of news, but there's really only one news blurb that matters in fantasy football right now.
Maybe this is why I don't feel so bad about losing that one game, because I was facing the Antonio Brown owner, and Antonio Brown went down, and I just felt bad. He's such a good player. He's such a incredible asset to the NFL, and he went down with a partially torn calf muscle. Look, it could have been worse. This could have been a broken tibia, fibula. This could have been an Achilles. It looked like all of those things.
Yeah.
X-rays were negative. He's unlikely to play next week.
Oh,
But
he's not playing
he's-
next week.
There's no point. And he is expected back for the postseason. So if you're a Steelers fan, congratulations on him not having a severe injury. If you're a fantasy owner that needed him, I'm sorry. This isn't what it should come down to. Last week I went on another show, and they asked me for my grievance in the Seinfeld tradition of Festivus, the grievance from this year. And it was all the players taken away from us by injury and how it should be versus how it is. Right now, we've lost so many, I couldn't even go through all the names. But losing Antonio Brown at the end of the season is as bad as it gets. So the good news is he will be back for the postseason. Doesn't look like a long-term injury. The bad news is you're not going to have him, Jason.
Yeah. That's all right.
That
I
is
won without
exact-
him this last week.
You were under the weather yesterday. Your daughter is sick. Your family's been sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you left the office yesterday was the moment Antonio Brown went down. When he went down in that heap, you kind of packed your bag.
Yeah, I
and
took
said,
my ball and I went home.
You're like, I'm going home. I'm going to watch the rest of this from there.
Done with this.
Keenan Allen was carted to the locker room with a back injury on Saturday's win, because we had the 2 Saturday games. Mike, what are you hearing about Keenan Allen? You're shaking your head.
I've been searching, and there is nothing available at this time.
So the news is the only news I saw was that he was in a lot of pain, and we'll wait to hear. And he's okay.
He was at least in as high spirits as he could have been as he was carted off. You know, given the thumbs up and the claps of encouragement for his team. So hopefully he is back for next week. But he has a history of injuries, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's hard to see that. Devontae Adams, concussion, not likely to play next week. Bad hit by Thomas Davis. He did seem like he was remorseful, but unfortunate. Rex Burkhead left with a knee injury. Did not tear his ACL. Could miss some time, though, so I don't think you're going to be able to count on him.
No, you cannot.
We'll talk
Rex
about –
Burkhead will be out next week.
Look, you need a shot in the dark. There's Mike Gillislee, James White. That's what I would say this week. I'd lean the James White side, but this game plan is going to change from what it was. He had been used very heavily. I can't imagine Gillislee not being active and used in a potential goal line scenario. If you need a shot, we'll talk more about the implications, the plans, what we're hearing. We'll talk about that on Tuesday. Marquise Lee, sprained ankle. X-rays showed no break. He's going to undergo an MRI. I don't expect him to play next week. We'll talk about Keelan Cole.
Yeah, we will.
Kerwin Williams, quad injury. Arizona Cardinals running back filling in for the IR'd Adrian Peterson. We'll see what happens next week. Elijah Penny would be next in line for the volume if you need it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Another player that can't stay healthy, guys. Jeremy Maclin, knee injury, knocked out of the game on Sunday. Not that you're starting him at this point. James Conner went down.
Yes.
I'm not sure a workload can get bigger for Lev Bell, but that 1 or 2 plays off will go to Fitzgerald Toussaint now. and he would be the handcuff to own if Connor's out.
If you're playing a Week 17 or trying to protect against a practice week injury to Le'Veon Bell, I mean,
Toussaint could play all of Week 17.
That is correct.
If there's no fantasy or there's no playoff implications for the Steelers.
Right.
Yes. So don't play fantasy championships in Week 17.
Could we not talk for 20 minutes about the end of the Steelers game and the end of the Cowboy game?
Holy moly. I will say this.
Yeah, go for it.
I realized this weekend just how incredible, because there's been a lot of frustration this year with all the injuries, just how incredible football and fantasy football and that those two things coming together are, because this was championship week, and we had every guy in our league.
Semifinals.
Well, getting in. Yes, you're right. It's the semifinals, getting into the championship. We had every person in our league huddled around their own TV for all of these games, texting everyone back and forth, watching these games that were incredible finishes of, every time that there's that epic game, it just so often lets you down.
Right.
And this weekend it didn't. I mean, you had incredible finishes, such good football being played, people stepping up every time they need to, last minute craziness in both games, and then fantasy was kind of mirroring this. The amount of tweets I get of everyone just talking about this play affected this 1 point. And there's just so much emotion on the line, and it was a blast. Andy, you got in the championship and out, and both, at the same time is just so exciting to watch. And I just want to say to all the Foot Clan out there, thanks for being along with us on this ride, because it is so fun.
It is. And if if you're in a title game, you got another week to get hyped. And if you're not, stay with us and enjoy the ride, because we're going to be riding along with this next this next week of games, all the implications of how this season ends and moving into next year. And we're going to have a ton of shows in January and February reflecting on the season, reminding you about things that happened, reminding you of what to pay attention to, giving out some awards to players.
Oh, the footies! The footies are coming. Don't go away.
Definitely not. So it's going to be a good one. A reminder, if you have Zeke, you know this by now, but he's coming back next week. And good news, he's been he's been on the beach in Cabo.
Thanks.
Is that who you're facing?
No, but I have Antonio Brown and Alfred Morris. So
well, this will be an adventure for you.
The little engine that could.
Zeke, at least in the photo, look, we all know in photography angles are everything.
He's a Josh Gordon-esque.
But that's the fittest that Zeke has looked all season.
Well, he made a little bet with Eric Dickerson that he'd run for 200 when he came back. He wants to be your fantasy champion.
And seeing what Todd Gurley just did to the Seahawks, Zeke might be able to hit 200.
We don't hit every prediction right, but that jersey up on the wall.
Andy. Look, I was reminded several times on Twitter that I did not believe in Todd Gurley coming into
this
the season.
weekend. You were reminded?
Oh, of course,
every weekend.
This one in particular. But Andy, you got that. You stayed. You had the faith. Jeff Fisher.
You are bad, Jeff Fisher.
You
are
terrible.
bad man.
Yes,
you had Goff and Keenum and
you had all the pieces to win.
Robert Woods is not the difference here.
That's fair. All right. Goodness.
Hey, before we jump into the Stud Muffins, want to thank today's sponsor, ZipRecruiter. Hey, Foot Clan, are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to get the best job candidates? If you're hiring, you know that quality hires keep your business moving forward, but you also know it can take a lot of time to find the right candidate for the job. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click, and then ZipRecruiter puts its smart matching tech to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of posting, so you receive the best possible matches. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. No juggling emails, no juggling those calls. ZipRecruiter handles it. It's the smartest way to hire. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes and industries to find the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. Right now, our listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free! Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/footballers. That's ZipRecruiter.com/footballers. And one more time, try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/footballers.
And also, we need to make sure that you are well aware of Pristine Auction during this time of year. Pristine Auction is the best sports memorabilia site of all time in all worlds, for sure.
All dimensions.
Hoodie Award winner.
Yeah, we talk about them all the time. But look, this is where you're getting to the championship. You're about to win the championship, and you're going to do it thanks to certain players, and you want to commemorate that experience. You want to go on and grab that Todd Gurley jersey that who's brought you along. Grab it, signed. Know that the signature is authentic. You do that at Pristine Auction, and you won't believe some of the prices. Even if you're talking about like Hall of Fame level. Listen to this: Jerry Rice signed 49ers career highlight stat jersey, an awesome piece, $105. You got Joe Montana going for $113. You got Le'Veon Bell for under $100. I mean, you can grab these
We've been
jerseys.
getting so many tweets about Christmas presents.
Yeah, so Christmas presents and commemoration. Go to pristineauction.com, PRISTINE auction.com. Make a completely free account. Make sure you let them know that the footballers sent you.
This week's Fantasy Stud Muffins.
Cam Newton, have a game, my friend. 20 for
My
31,
goodness.
242, and 4 with another 58 yards rushing. Number one quarterback on the week?
Certainly.
Nick Foles, Blake Bortles. Mike, you went bold with Blake, and Blake delivered.
You're darn right he did.
He didn't even have to play a whole game.
I mean, that was quite the performance from Blake Bortles, and he was doing this without his top 3 weapons.
That's true, and they've done a good job of building depth at the wide receiver position, obviously, and at the running back position. They get contributions from Corey Grant. You had the game from Mickens.
Mickens.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways, Blake Bortles, the way he's playing with Fournette back, are we underestimating the potential for Jacksonville to make do something in the playoffs?
hopefully not. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're in prime position right now. I believe they're the
Can
3
they go on
seed.
the road and bring this powerful defense and win a game?
Yeah, defense travels, the old cliche. But here's the thing about Jacksonville. They're the 3 seed right now. They're in play for the 2, even the 1.
They would have
right
had
now.
the 2 if Pittsburgh had won that game. They would have been in position for the 2.
Yeah, so
They're
the
the team
Jacksonville
that I
Jaguars are going to be scary in the playoffs.
Yeah, if you're,
If Fournette is healthy, I will. I like Blake Bortles right now. I love him for fantasy football, even next week. But Blake Bortles on the road, if you're saying it's all him with no Leonard Fournette, I think that's a little sketchy.
yeah, I was just gonna say if you're in the playoffs, your team is in the playoffs. The Jags are a team you do not want to go up against.
Right.
Is there any quarterbacks from the Giants that you want to mention in this section?
Oh man, you know what? Let's just talk about the Giants as a whole. I was expecting this Eagles defense to get amped up in the loss of Carson
to
Wentz.
soar
It
on
was
the,
not
on the wins?
Not
Like,
just you, Jason.
I mean,
You were
I-
just the spokesperson
I
for it.
pumped the I'm the spokesperson. I pumped the brakes on the Giants. I didn't believe that they were a good play. Literally, if you played any Giant, you were fine. Eli had himself a huge game. Shepard,
Monster
Darkwa,
Ingram.
Ingram had a great game.
Ingram, King, Lewis. Just name a name. They did great. So apparently, if you want the Giants to perform, you just need to talk some smack. Mm-hmm. They're listening.
Brock Osweiler had
I told you, I said Brock Osweiler was going to end up top 5.
let's
is
just
freaking ridiculous.
leave it alone. You're not playing him.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, 26 for 45.
Welcome back.
He missed on some big plays, and now with the loss, you're going to have to wonder, does he play next week? Does he not play
Absolutely.
next week?
Here's why he plays next week.
You're answering the question, but I'm asking the question.
Sure. Yes, you asked the question.
I'm more asking it to
Oh, rhetorically?
yeah, I'm asking more rhetorically. We're waiting and seeing, but you're saying you think he'll
I
play.
am saying he will play because it's Minnesota. This is a really important game for Minnesota to win, to claim division. They're trying to get home field all the way through, including the Super Bowl. If you're a Green Bay Packer, that would be a nightmare. I mean, you don't want your division rival to have a chance at the Super Bowl. And
I'm with Jason. I'm with Jason completely on this.
I understand that motivation, but that doesn't supersede your future. And if Aaron
But
Rodgers,
what's the future? Aaron Rodgers was healthy enough to play this week. He's healthy enough to play next week.
but you still have risk in a meaningless game for your team. If you have no chance to make the playoffs, and this is
You still technically have a chance to make the playoffs.
how? No, the Packers don't have a chance.
Yes, they do. They're still in the hunt.
Yeah, I don't think they've been mathematically eliminated.
Right. Atlanta right now, if Atlanta loses tonight, that's huge for the Packers.
The Packers had to win all 3 games in order to have a chance. They needed 3 games plus help. So they're all but eliminated. I would say it's like a 99.99999% chance.
That's fair. But they have not been mathematically eliminated. But I'm with Jason, too, that as a team, you go out against your –
yeah, they're mathematically eliminated if the Falcons win tonight.
Yes. But as a team in division, the Vikings right now are the 2 seed. I think that Aaron Rodgers plays and they try and knock Minnesota out of having that number 1 seed.
We'll see. We'll find out. Other good performances this week. Big Ben, he was okay. I was expecting more against New England.
Well, if Jesse James comes down with that catch, then Big Ben had himself a great game.
All right, let's look at the running backs. Todd Gurley.
Woo!
Holy moly.
He did this in about 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Really, in about 2. He got one more touchdown in the third just for fun. 21 for 153 and 3 for 28 and a touchdown.
So 4 total touchdowns.
What
for
the
Todd Gurley.
Rams are doing right now, I don't know if you saw this stat. They are the 3rd highest point per game increase in NFL history from one year to the next. The 2 higher are teams that don't exist anymore that I've never heard of. They're like the Illinois Bobcats and
the Baton Rouge skateboards.
Yeah. I don't think
that's where your brain goes.
I don't know, man. I'm sick.
If Baton Rouge is known for anything,
It's their skateboard.
it's skateboards.
But Gurley next week against Tennessee, this offense is traveling. You talk about defense traveling. The dominating performance against Seattle was amazing. Kareem Hunt, welcome back.
Well, here's what happened. Kareem Hunt, sir, there was a lot of whispers. No, I'm not doing it yet. I'm not doing it yet. I'm going to wait one more week. Kareem Hunt was hearing the whispers from the bushes. All right, Andy's finishing it. He's hearing that people are saying, Kareem Hunt, you're only a 2nd-round pick for fantasy football. He said, wait, what? I'm a top 5 pick. And so he's going out there and he's doing work.
What was the question we got the other day? Fournette or Kareem next year?
I think so. Something like
who
that.
would you, if you had to keep one,
Right.
going into next year, where do you lean?
I would lean Fournette.
And I would lean Kareem Hunt right now.
There you go.
I don't know.
Opportunity and health. Leonard Fournette.
Health for sure.
Leonard Fournette is.
I would say passing game involvement and health would be what it is for me. So, yeah, I
But
lean
look, that
Kareem
could
Hunt.
change. That can change quickly, but
Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara doing his thing.
oh, there he goes.
The Saints know how
Super
to run the
Camario.
ball. So both of those players absolutely dominated once
Mark
again.
Ingram also little garbage man because the Jets, as they're trying to frantically hold on, maybe scrape together something, they just let Mark Ingram through on a monster.
Yeah, 50-yard touchdown run, and he was only 12 for 74 on the game. So, yeah, a little padded, but his passing work was stellar.
He
He
was
already
still
had
a fine
touchdown.
play. Yes.
Yeah, he had a great game. Melvin Gordon had a very good game, almost 100 yards receiving, had a touchdown.
And Austin Eckler's season is over.
Yes.
We should have mentioned that.
Yeah, broken hand.
Yeah. Melvin Gordon's going to do work. Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon both put up 18 fantasy points.
They certainly did.
They were your
So even if you picked wrong, you picked right. C.J. Anderson.
I believe that's there's
big game.
no wrong answer.
Yeah, that's what I should have gone with. And then Deion Lewis. Is Deion Lewis in a better position for success without Burkhead?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Deion Lewis gets the biggest bump. Did you mention Kenyon Drake? K. Drake?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, 'cause we
he
need his
gets
name.
the Now he had a fine game and he got a late touchdown, but then he got the dink and dump.
Yes.
I mean,
love
throughout the
it.
rest of the game,
And that was my worry about Damian Williams because he is oftentimes their passing down back. So if he were in on those 2-minute type of drills, you're losing 4 or 5 receptions there in that kind of utilization. So heal up, Damian. But
heal
slowly.
Up. Okay, all right.
Take your rest.
All right.
All right, wide receivers, guys.
Jacksonville Jaguars. This is where they dominate.
Keelan Cole, 7 for 186 and 1 on 9 targets. Now, the 9 targets is what you need to pay attention to. I pumped the brakes on Keelan Cole last week because 3 targets in the previous 2 weeks and happened to score.
To be fair, Marquise Lee went out of this game rather quickly.
Yes, but I still feel bad. I paid the price. I put Devontae Parker in over Keelan Cole in my Dynasty League. Luckily, Brooks didn't show up, so I was fine. But next week, Keelan Cole against San Francisco, I love him.
Yes,
I think he's going to be great. He's performing, and they're giving him a larger target share. They're giving him more work. He was already on the field 60+% of the time, and now with Marquise Lee unlikely to play, Keelan Cole is going up against you, Mike, in Dynasty.
That's fair. I would do it too.
Sterling Shepard, big week.
He was balling out.
11 for 139.
But can you trust Shepard?
I think you can.
Yes, you can absolutely trust Shepard. The only problem with Shepard was his hamstring, and now it looks like he's clearly healthy. So I would trust him. It's a tough matchup.
Even against Peterson?
I was going to say it's a tough matchup next week against Arizona. I don't know that he'll be Peterson the whole game, but I still think he is too involved. He is their clear number 1 receiver, and they use him on such short routes sometimes that he'll be fine.
Okay. Michael Thomas, nice game from
3 touchdowns, Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Except 2 of them were called back.
If you were playing against Michael Thomas
or if you were playing him, either way.
A buddy of ours was here watching the games with us, playing against Michael Thomas, and he was punched in the heart twice, and then they just got called back by an inch. Of course, then he capped it off with a real touchdown that you could not take away.
We talked about the other.
What about Jaden Mickens?
Well, Jaden Mickens stepped into that Marquise Lee gap, I guess, and got on the field and scored 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant.
You don't?
I don't. You had a subpar game from D.D. Westbrook, which was unexpected. I mean, who are you going to start him over? You going to start him over Westbrook or Keelan Cole?
No.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
So on a running team
in the championship,
I'm not. Yeah. Jaden Mickens is irrelevant to me. It was an outlier type of game. I mean, are you starting Tavares King?
No.
2 for 70 and 2 touchdowns?
No.
Also, was Tavares King the one that looks like he's about
I was
like a modern-day Gary Payton?
Tavares King was 2 for 70 with 2 touchdowns. Looked extremely sprightly for
a 49-year-old.
I mean, he's got the looks of an aged man.
Yes.
Not quite the Greg Oden levels, but
it was a bit shocking.
He took the helmet off, and I was like,
Brashard?
Grandpa?
Oh, no.
Not Brashard, but Richard. Richard Matthews.
All right. The thing is, I never want to really bank on a Tennessee wide receiver right now, but he is the one if you have to. Bad matchup this next week against Los Angeles Rams.
Michael Crabtree, 7 for 39 on 7 and only 2. So 7 for 39 on 17 targets. 39 yards on 17 targets is insanely poor. And if you watched the game,
awful.
It's Derek Carr's fault.
Derek Carr sucks.
He stinks right now.
He's so bad. I mean, I don't know who was worse last night between Derek Carr and Dak Prescott, but both guys look like they do not belong on teams even sniffing the playoffs as a quarterback.
He can't, and now you lost Donald Penn. So nobody has a larger disparity of passer rating in the NFL than Derek Carr with pressure versus a safe pocket,
right? Clean pocket,
a clean pocket. Also, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think the offensive coordinator in Oakland doesn't know what he's doing.
No,
because there is no rhythm to this offense whatsoever. They go 5 wide, and every 5 wide set includes 0 Michael Crabtree. They put out 5 wide receivers, and they're having Derek Carr throw the ball within 1 second all the time. There's no downfield presence. They don't know what they're doing going from one to the other. It's just really strange. It feels rigid. It feels like we're doing this play in this set. We have no flexibility. There's no changing the play at the line, and the offense has felt like a problem all year long. I want to bring up DeAndre Hopkins. Can anybody stop DeAndre Hopkins?
Nope.
No, it's impossible.
4 for 80 and a touchdown on 13 targets. Next week they play Pittsburgh. Robert Woods. I guess we're going to talk about him in a bit.
No, we're not going to talk about it. He was almost going to be my Raise the K's rising star, but he's back. It was, in theory, a tough matchup against Seattle, but 6 for 45 and a touchdown. He appeared right off the bat that he's the number one target, and he went right back to that role with Jared Goff. Next week, San Francisco. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the opposite of that with Robert Woods. Sorry, no, Robert Woods gets San Francisco week 17.
Yes,
Jason.
I'm sorry, Tennessee.
Yeah,
still
you confused me there because Marquise Greatwin has been balling out. That's actually Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver for the 49ers, with Jimmy Garoppolo, who looks like the truth. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a great quarterback.
Not this week.
Yeah, that's the problem. Goodwin, you've been playing him. The target volume has been unbelievable, and the catch rate has been equally unbelievable for Goodwin, but he gets Jacksonville in championship week. Raining on your parade.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would trust him in that matchup.
That's what I wanted to bring up real quick.
Yeah, it'd be tough. Yeah, it is at home, I assume? Is that game at home?
Yes.
All right, Rob Gronkowski did his thing. He was bigger, stronger, better than the players around him. 9 for 168. Single-handedly. That whole drive.
Yes.
To win the game.
And not just the drive, the 2-point conversion where the Pittsburgh
Mike and I looked at each other and we
Pittsburgh
said,
Steelers line up just one defensive back on Gronk, who they split out wide, and we're watching this going, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? The play is going to go to Gronk. How do you not see? Gronk, like 2-point conversion.
It's like a bomb's about to go off and nobody is running away from
How
it.
do you not see what they're doing?
Everyone knew what was going on. The commentator said that. You guys said that. Everyone in the stands was saying that.
What was great is that Gronk didn't even use his size to win. He actually juked.
Yes.
He juked the 5'8" guy. All right, Greg Olsen, welcome back. 9 for 116 and 1.
Yeah, we'll talk about him.
Those of you that started him last week are mad. He could have given you this.
I had no faith. I will own up to this. I did not want to start Greg Olsen. I did not recommend playing him, but he was back with an absolute vengeance. 9 for 116 with a touchdown, and he destroyed the value of Devin Funchess.
Yeah, he did. He did.
If you're wondering what happened, you have Devin Funchess, who I loved this weekend. What happened? Greg Olsen happened, and so did Christian. And the targets went back to Christian McCaffrey as well. So there's just wasn't enough to go around for poor Funchess.
Zach Ertz, Eric Ebron, Delaney Walker all scored touchdowns. Evan Ingram had a nice game, 8 for 87 on 13 targets, having one of the best rookie seasons as a tight end in NFL history.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram with a monster year, really validating that pick for the Giants, which we questioned him over Njoku. He's certainly served a role. There's been a lot of injury there, but he's made the most of it. Let's talk Rising Stars.
Raising Cane's Rising Stars of the Week.
I'm going to step right into the fire. Keelan Cole, who I pumped the brakes on, now has 3 straight games with a touchdown. He's firmly on fire, staying in the flames with him. Marquise Lee's hurt. It all makes sense. Bortles is playing well. Keelan Cole's a rising star. He's a waiver wire pickup in your league. And depending on your situation, he's going to be a start for me next week. Mike, why don't you take his buddy?
It's a combo here, a twofer, as we call it in the business. Yeah, I don't. Someone out there has to.
Baton Rouge skateboards.
Hey,
somebody's going to give us a logo for that team.
3 games, and you are on fire. And here's Blake Bortles' past 3 games: 302, 268 and 2,
He's eating up,
326 and 3. Not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, 0 interceptions.
Impossible
in that time.
In all 3 games?
Yes. Man. Blake Bortles is picking the right time to catch fire Now he gets to play San Francisco, which the San Francisco defense this past week made Marcus Mariota look like he was an actual usable fantasy quarterback, which he has not been the entire year. So Blake Bortles is my rising star because I'm sticking with him.
Yeah, my rising star this week is Greg Olsen because I thought he was done.
Yes.
This coming week in championship week where people have been struggling for their tight end. If you had Greg Olsen, you probably didn't play him. They're coming up against Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay's been decent against tight end, but that hasn't been because they're good against tight end. That's simply because nobody's needed to utilize a tight end. They can do whatever they want against Tampa Bay, running back and wide receiver. But the thing is Greg Olsen is such a key part of the offense. I think you can start Greg Olsen next week. They're at home in Carolina. You're going to see more of the same. And I think it'll be a very good week for him. And that shout out to Robert Woods as well, that I think is both these guys, you weren't sure how quick you're going to be able to play them coming off of their injuries. Light them up.
Blake Bortles, Keelan Cole, Greg Olsen, those were the Raising Cane's Rising Stars of the Week. Remember that game day tastes better. Pretty much every day tastes better with Raising Cane's tailgates full of fresh 24-hour marinated hand-battered chicken fingers and fresh brewed sweet tea. Visit RaisingCanes.com to find your nearest location.
Pooped in his big boy pants.
This is
It finally happened.
This is our service to you. We're going to give some comeuppance to the players that let you down. We'll do our best to shame them. We'll do our best to sympathize.
Finally happened. Russell Wilson found his kryptonite. It was the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams.
Aaron Donald.
The Rams, generally speaking, do like historically, even the Jeff Fisher years, played tough against the Seahawks. I don't think anyone, even
too tough for fantasy owners,
even the most rambunctious of Rams fan could not have foreseen a 40-point lead on the road against Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, he set a trap for you, and he neatly tied it together
bear trap.
With last week's performance against Jacksonville. You would probably have played him anyway, but if he had stunk last week, you wouldn't have been setting up saying he can overcome anything.
Yeah, Mike was saying Russell Wilson's going to lose some people their playoffs, and he was right. He just got it
wrong week.
One week
got
wrong.
it wrong week. Either he lost you last week because you benched him, and then you have the confidence to start him this week, and and this goes with
he had
Doug
13
Baldwin.
points still, so he didn't just he wasn't a complete an utter death to your team, but
his weapons were.
Yeah,
I mean Doug Baldwin, 1 for 6.
That is unbelievable. Jimmy Graham was what, -0.1?
Was he?
He had a catch for a negative. Yeah.
Oh
-1
man.
yard.
I mean, here's the thing.
He's going south for the winter.
And the reason why I had no confidence to start Russell Wilson last week is I just felt it would, the way that he's playing, it's going to catch up eventually. The offensive line, they can't block anyone. That's not Russell Wilson's fault. He's doing the best he can. But scramble, throw the ball as far as you can. It can't work every single week. When you're Russell Wilson, when you're that amazing, it can work the majority of the time, but eventually it catches up, and the Los Angeles Rams were able to get enough pressure, and even the Rams still whiffed on quite a few plays.
The other two start-worthy quarterbacks this week that let you down in a big way, Dak Prescott, 18 for 27. Not a good game at Seattle next week. And then Brooks, what's the other name on the list?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
20 for 36.
The Chargers are, I will say this, as an analyst, they hurt me the most this week, for sure, because I saw that Saturday game going the exact opposite. I really thought that the Chargers were going to go in there, take care of business against the Chiefs, and the entire Chargers team, with the exception of Melvin Gordon, just let you down. Keenan Allen, Phillip Rivers, all the ancillary weapons.
Well,
Tyrell Williams.
Hunter Henry scored. Oh, no, that was Antonio Gates.
Henry actually came off the field
due
to an injury, so we need to pay attention to that for this upcoming week Guys, at the running back position, who was your most surprising pooper?
Oh, the most surprising?
You had Jamal Williams with a terrible performance. 0 targets, 10 for 30. You had Lamar Miller yet again let you down. Carlos Hyde didn't have a big game. 16 for 25 against Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll say the most surprising was Carlos Hyde. I felt like he wasn't, crazy high ceiling, but he's just been so safe. And 16 for 25 is not getting it done, especially where Hyde has been safe is those dump-off passes. But once under Jimmy Garoppolo, those are not showing up with the regularity that they were earlier.
He's more
in the
willing
season.
to go downfield.
Yes, he is.
Extend a play with his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate for Carlos Hyde's outlook. And then now Hyde has to play Jacksonville in the championship week.
Yeah, I would say the most surprising to me was Mike Davis, but as we talked about, I mean, when you get down by 40 points
not his fault.
in the blink of an eye, your running game goes poof.
Yes.
I would say it's Alex Collins for me.
Yeah.
Collins was 12 for 19 after kind of earning the fantasy, mantle space on the mantle.
Yes.
Knock him off.
I don't know what happened in that
Get on the
game.
ground.
I don't know what happened because I was tracking that game. Alex Collins wasn't performing well, but he was getting, the bulk of the work. And then the second half comes around, and he disappears. I don't know if he was gone, injured, benched,
right.
but he basically didn't get any more work. We need to look into,
It was just he just wasn't playing well. I mean, 12 for 19.
And Buck Allen was playing.
And Buck Allen was playing well. It was disappointing. You thought he had kind of worked himself into a premier position, but he hurt people, and he hurt them big time. If you took a chance on Amir Abdullah, you made a mistake.
Yeah,
Amir
I don't know
Abdullah
why. I don't know why you would have done that.
No, but he was active again. Some people thought he had the starting job, and then Theo Riddick, was ignored because of that, but none of those running backs had a good game over there. Jonathan Stewart,
Yeah.
not a good game.
Everything went back to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. And
Did we? I know we mentioned his name, Jamal Williams, but that was also.
yeah, let's talk about moving forward because
Yes.
Aaron Jones, 37% of snaps this week, and Jamal Williams with Aaron Rodgers back, 10 for 30, no targets.
And Jamal Williams, even though Jones was back, he still only got 3 carries. Jamal Williams, 10 carries. The no targets thing, that's destructive for a Green Bay running back for fantasy purposes. If you joined me on the Periscope that I do every Sunday morning with those last-minute, analysis, news, and all that stuff, Jamal Williams was in a lot of questions, and I often turn to the other running back simply based off of touchdown upside when Jamal Williams goes down when Aaron Rodgers is playing, because Aaron Rodgers will throw from the 1-yard line. He does not care. But I did not foresee 10 for 30 coming up from Jamal Williams, and now he gets Minnesota. What's is the trust level put on pause until you know if it's Aaron Rodgers or Brett Hundley?
Would you rather start? Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, Brett Hundley, he's going to need to check the ball down more, but I'm not confident in the snap percentage.
Yeah, I was going to say
being
even
in the right place. I mean,
even if Brett Hundley is back, I don't think you can be confident that Jamal Williams has the snap percentage that he had been having while Aaron Jones was gone.
I would start C.J. Anderson next week over Jamal Williams.
Oh!
I love hearing that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize how impactful that statement is.
Coming from Dad.
Just because the first 4 words were I would start C.J. Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah, Brooks,
Yeah.
we're going to need that cut up.
Yeah, that's a historical moment for
That's
this
a
show.
drop that we need to have access to play at all times.
Well, it's like last week when Mike said, I like Doug Martin this week.
Yeah, that was painful to say. So I
And
understand.
painful to watch.
Well, he at least scored that week.
Yeah. All right. Wide receivers. A.J. Green let me down huge. 2 for 30
Yes.
on 4 targets. I guess Andy Dalton let A.J. down, and then A.J. let me down. So it's kind of the transitive property. Andy Dalton, I hate you.
And so here's the thing, because there was actual questions of people saying, can I play A.J. Green against Minnesota? And the analysis I always give is, who are your other options? But I go down with my studs, and sometimes you do go down. A.J. Green, Adam Thielen,
Dez Bryant.
bad weeks. But then you have, on the other side, if you had benched DeAndre Hopkins, who had a fantastic game for fantasy, you feel really, really bad. So sometimes it's just that game of probability, and you feel like you got to play the player who gives you the best chance, even if everything in the world is against them.
There's no way that in hindsight you could ever say you should have benched A.J. Green.
Not the way I play.
Yeah, he's number 6 wide receiver, and yes, you could have made the narrative. I mean, Minnesota playing for a lot, Cincinnati playing for a little, but he's A.J. Green, and he had a 40-yard catch down the sideline where he just barely was out of bounds on. It would have changed the week a little bit for you. But Doug Baldwin, Adam Thielen, you said it. Jordy Nelson, Golden Tate.
That's the guy. Jordy Nelson, to me, is the one that sticks out because
you guys were so jealous of me getting him in our draft our draft league, and it didn't even
it
matter.
Did not work.
I think Jordy is done. I mean,
whoa,
that's a strong.
Whoa,
maybe that's too much from week 1, but his age and the fact that Devontae Adams went out in this game. You had the second half where he still couldn't find Jordy open. I remember one reception coming where Jordy was, wearing a blanket. He still caught it. It was great, but 3 for 28 on 6 targets.
In defense of Jordy Nelson, I will say one of Aaron Rodgers' interceptions was Jordy Nelson was running free for a touchdown, but Rodgers underthrew him.
That's true.
But perhaps Jordy Nelson is at the point of his career where he can still be great for fantasy, but he needs someone like Devontae Adams on the other side helping out with the coverage instead of just being able to be supreme alpha.
Jason, out of Christmas goodwill, chose to put all of the poor players on his draft lineup this week. So you lost handily.
Sweet.
Rex Burkhead, Mike Davis, and Golden Tate were on your roster.
All right.
Now, Mike, I am currently beating you by half of a point.
Are you?
Your guys are all done, and I still have Mike Evans. So I have defeated you. So I didn't even Jordy Nelson. No harm done in that league.
Golden Tate was strange. Only 5 targets for Golden Tate. 3 for 33.
On a day when Stafford was fine.
Yeah.
So Jason, Corey Coleman 1 for 16. I know he's the best player in the NFL.
Yeah,
but
he's much better than Josh Gordon.
You did make a water bet about this week.
Yep.
So just letting you know.
Thank you.
Soggy bottoms.
Yum. I was going to go there. D.D. Westbrook, 2 for 21. Can you trust him next week without Marquise Lee? Is this just
yes?
Was this just an outlier game?
Every player in the entire league has bad games. Antonio Brown has bad games. So I think this game didn't work out well.
Only when he's injured. He's the worst example.
Okay, he is literally statistically the worst example. But the point is, the point is he does still have those games where you're disappointed, and so D.D. Westbrook. You can't just assume every single week is going to be great. I think with Marquise Lee out, the good matchup against San Francisco, I'm fine playing Dede next week.
All right, Jimmy Graham and Hunter Henry were the big poopers at the tight end position. I would also throw Ricky Seals-Jones in there because
certainly
he had 6 targets.
I thought Seals-Jones was going to have a very solid fantasy game.
I did too.
The matchup was great. Jermaine Gresham was out.
Yeah,
it was going to be all Seals-Jones.
Gabbert was so bad.
He was awful.
So bad.
Question, though, for Jimmy Graham, who, depending on your scoring format, but let's say he plays if you're in a standard league, over the past 2 weeks, Jimmy Graham is averaging negative points. Where's your trust level with Jimmy Graham if you still made it to the championship week with him putting up 1 for -1?
I cannot see not playing Jimmy Graham. I really can't.
I would. I mean, it's 2 straight games of complete nothingness, so it would depend on your options.
And even when he was dominant, in that run a few weeks ago,
touchdowns.
It was touchdowns. It was a touchdown dependent thing. Which, the probability of Jimmy Graham coming down with a touchdown is a lot higher than most tight ends. But are you going? I mean, he's cooling off. He is the exact opposite of heating up. This is 2 really bad games. But Jason, you're still.
I know the other options out there, and I think Jimmy Graham still you just said he has a higher probability at getting a touchdown than most of the other options. So I mean, sure, if I have another great option on my team, and I can say, okay, I'm not going to play Jimmy Graham because I can put in Zach Ertz, then sure. But, I mean, most of the time you're going with, is it Tyler Kroft you're playing over him, or is it, Cameron Brate? If I'm talking about guys like that, then I'm just going to keep rolling with Jimmy Graham because you have to.
You say shoer like a person that puts on like horseshoes onto a horse? Like you're a shoer?
Yeah.
All right. So just real quick, and we're very early. The analysis has not been fully done on the weekend, but Jimmy Graham, you're putting the faith in him, or are you going to go with the tight end matchups, the killer ones, like Arizona gets the Giants, and it could be Ricky Seals, who was disappointing, but has been putting up some monster weeks. The other one, the other great one
Ping pong?
is
That's
tough
ping pong.
because it's Chicago. So Adam Shaheen was a late scratch. Maybe he's in. Maybe it's Deion Sims.
Yeah,
No,
so
I'd
if
be
I'm
playing
talking about
Jimmy Graham for
Exactly.
sure on that situation.
Exactly.
All right.
Probably on both. Tevin Coleman's out for the game tonight. Devonta Freeman shall run wild.
Yes.
Would you make a cursory pickup of Tron Ward
Probably not.
if you're the Freeman owner? If you're
the Freeman owner,
I'm just
sure.
saying Freeman's been concussed this
Yeah.
year. I just am bringing it up.
I
as
believe
a,
Freeman has 2,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
So you're expecting big things from Julio tonight. We're expecting to see everything and anything from Jameis Winston. Not a lot of expectations on that side of the ball. But I'm sure a lot of people with Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson starting tonight. And then your money would be on Martin or Barber to have a bigger game tonight.
I've been looking for any inkling in the news sphere of Doug Martin versus Peyton Barber. As of right now, I have received nothing to state if Peyton Barber will, in fact, be the starter tonight.
Yeah,
so as of right now, you have to imagine that it's still Doug Martin.
Yeah, my money would be on Peyton Barber, but my hopes, my Christmas wish list, if I can amend that.
No!
Oh.
Put some on the back of the list.
Yeah, the back of the list, Santa. I need Doug Martin to be a workhorse stud because
You need him to
in
go
our-
full C.J. Anderson at the end of the season.
In the Listener League, and this happened while we were recording the show in the Listener League, I was able to move a player to the IR. Thank you, Damian Williams.
Oh.
And Doug Martin was out there, which is unbelievable. And because he has not played
Because
he is on my team.
He is a bear trap.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
But I lost Alf.
a holiday wish for Doug Martin
I need someone.
is a holiday wish for Krampus to show up and eat your children.
Do you know what his current yardage is on the year?
Doug Martin?
Yeah,
I know that he's real close to that 400.
Because there are some requirements for his.
Yeah, we know he has to finish either with 1,400
he's at
yards.
402.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's done. He's finishing in the 400s.
So that means he's only got 97 yards
So for
left.
some of you that
He's
don't
finishing in the
that
400s.
don't know this, Doug Martin in his entire career, he's either finished the season with 1,400 yards in that range, or 400.
His entire career.
So he's completely like Brooks here in the studio. Sometimes a home run,
But this
sometimes
is
more of a waiver wire. I'm just kidding,
Frowny
Brooks.
face Brooks with
I'm
the
just
Santa hat
kidding,
on.
but Andy,
is-
It's really sad.
This will
it's
be-
really sad.
this will be season 4, correct? In the 400.
Yes. This will be that's correct. Here's his career. 1454, then 456, 494, then 1402, then 421, and I'm right now at 402.
It's so amazing.
I would call that not good. If
Yeah, 4 out of 6 years you've accumulated.
How many of those
400.
were injury laden?
All of them.
you destroy me on my love for Ryan Matthews.
No.
because
I'm
he
not.
gets
No,
hurt.
I'm not loving him. I'm not
Okay.
loving Martin.
Okay, that's fair.
Look,
He's
the
only played 16 twice, and you can guess which two
scale-
finishes that
the
was.
scale has added up, and the side of Krampus is much higher than the other side.
Oh,
By the way,
man.
go
Are
to
my kids going to get eaten for Christmas
If
now?
you want Doug Martin to do well, that's the
do.
trade-off.
Dang it.
That's the trade.
that is the trade. You want that listener league title?
Hello, Jason.
Unfortunately, you're
I don't think I'm getting that listener league title.
you'll still be a father. And by the way, go to footclangiveaway.com. Right now, we are giving away, there's only 5 days left in this. We're giving 3 custom fantasy football jerseys away from fantasychamps.com.
Oh, those are hot.
And you get to customize your team name, your favorite number. These are really, really nice jerseys. We've got them for our teams. People have been raving about them. I know they're adding some new colors this week at fantasychamps.com. But you can enter to win one for free at footclangiveaway.com. We're giving 3 of them away in 5 days. And we'll be back tomorrow with the waiver wire. Good luck tonight. And we'll talk to you then.
Absolutely. And do not forget about draft.com/ballers. If you're out and you want a DFS, that's the place to go. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.